Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God, sons and daughters of God. Thank you so much for joining in. So I was reflecting on, many of us come to Bruno Groening looking for healing. And it's quite interesting how healing happens. I saw a video of someone who went to their first meeting, not so different from this one, and they had 4 healings: severe depression, allergy, or maybe it's 3 healings: severe depression, allergies to cats, and some kind of chronic pain, I think in the neck. This person just went to a meeting to learn a little bit, and those things just permanently left. On the other hand, I have a dear friend in this work who's very committed to this path. Actually, I'm going to slow down for a little bit. I sometimes get excited. So I also have a very dear friend on this path who very committed, a lot of service work. She had what could be called a terminal illness, meaning it was going to kill her. She had the diagnosis. It had killed members of her family. But it was a heart condition that in the future is like she would die of it. It was kind of a medical extreme probability, given that she had the diagnosis and other family members had died from it. And it took her 20 years to heal it. And it did heal. And she's alive and well, and however she leaves this body, it won't be from this hereditary heart disease that took the lives of other members of her family. So let's look at this for a moment. One person went to a meeting, no faith, nothing, just curious, and had 3 spontaneous healings. Some of you may have heard the story. It's a man named Rich Leo, the former country leader for the United States in the Bruno Groening Circle of Friends, one organization that shares this, currently the largest. He just went to this meeting and he had 3 healings. And let's compare that with my friend, very devoted, very committed, doing a lot of service. And it took 20 years to heal. So what I learned from all of this is how important patience is. And I'm starting to recognize that patience is the ultimate form of faith and trust. First and foremost, Bruno Groening said, the good will prevail. What I take that to mean is that every burden, every problem will be healed, will be solved. The question is when. Doesn't necessarily mean that everything will be healed in this lifetime. In fact, he spoke about this sanctification, this healing process we're on, takes more than one lifetime, actually. However, if we really take to heart that God is almighty, and we really take to heart that God is love, and we really take to heart that the good will prevail, then what we can begin to do is cultivate patience. So if we hand a burden over and it's not instantly gone, it's not that we've done anything wrong. It's time to cultivate patience. What is patience? So let's say I have a really special date next week. Like someone I really like, and I've asked her out and she said yes, and we have this amazing plan. I'd be very I'd be very excited. Um, I'd be very excited and looking forward to it. Be thinking about it, right? All week long. But let's change the scenario a little bit. Let's say that I've asked this person out, someone I have this huge crush on, like the biggest crush ever. I'm convinced this person's my soulmate. I don't really believe in the concept of soulmates, but or I take the concept lightly. I'm very cautious with that idea. But let's say I'm like, this person's my soulmate. I ask them out. They say yes. And because of some life circumstance, neither one of us is able to know when the date is going to happen. Like we know it's going to happen. Like that's just a fact. But we don't know when. So that would be a bit of an emotional roller coaster, wouldn't it? There'd be moments of excitement, moments of faith, moments of doubting, moments of peace, moments of certainty. This is going to happen. But what would stop the emotional roller coaster? Patience. If I and she could be patient, that would be the ultimate form of faith. Because it's the recognition this date is going to happen. It's also the ultimate form of confidence and faith. Because then I and she would just be relaxing into the truth. Like, okay, we're going to have this epic date. We don't know when. But if we were patient, then that emotional roller coaster of excitement, worry, doubt, and of course, impatience, frustration, like, why? In that scenario, if I didn't have patience, there would be moments like, why isn't it happening? Why do I have to wait? But patience is the ultimate trust in God. That's not to say that she and I wouldn't do things to help it happen sooner. That would, if it's something we want, that would be wise and good. But we'd also be trusting that God has it handled. God's our chaperone, our matchmaker, our chaperone, and is taking care of everything. And then maybe the ultimate form of patience is the recognition that we're human beings on this journey, and sometimes we're going to doubt. Sometimes, and to even have patience with that, recognizing that we're learning the most important lesson, complete and ultimate trust and faith in God. A spiritual book I really like says, a happy outcome to all things is sure. Because God is, and because God is good. That's the context for that quote. A happy outcome to all things is sure. Meaning the end of the book is already written, and it's a happy ending to everything. That's what I think Bruno meant when he said the good will prevail. And so it's our job to really two things: to delve into that complete trust, patience, surrender, faith, and to cultivate that, this real belief, this knowing that everything is all right and going to be all right. And then taking wise and skillful action to move us towards that and to help others. One of my top 10 favorite Bible quotes is this: "Let patience have her perfect work with you, that you may be made whole and complete, wanting nothing." If I know, and there are moments when I do and moments when I don't. I lead these meetings not so much to be a teacher or a preacher, but to teach myself and support my own learning. If we know that everything will be taken care of, then we can rest in peace. We can be in peace. We can have her perfect work with us, that we may be made whole and complete, wanting nothing. Thanks so much for joining in.